Hi, everybody. Welcome to another family devotion. And today's devotion is called Just as Jesus Said. I'm going to start with a question, and the question is this: what's one of the best places you've ever been to in the world? Have a think about that for a little moment and then tell the person that's sitting beside you, what's the best place you've ever been to? I imagine that for most of us, it probably involved being on holiday. And when you're a kid, going on holiday is class because your parents take care of all the organising, all of the planning, and you just get to go and enjoy yourself. However, when you're an adult, well, it might take a little bit more work and a little bit more planning. One of the best places that Steph and I have been to visit together is Iceland. Not the shop, but the actual country. We booked to go there for 5 days last year, but in the lead up to the trip, Steph was really busy with coursework and assignments. So I said, look, don't worry, I will organize our trip. And I took it really seriously. I got myself one of these. I read everything that I could about Iceland. I had a look at the different places we might want to go to. I made maps of where we would visit and on what days. I worked out how long it would take to get from one place to the other. I made sure that there were places to stop for food, and if there weren't places to stop for food, I made sure that we knew we would need to take a packed lunch with us. I knew if we needed to pay to get in somewhere, how much it would cost us. I had a plan that would help us to make the most of our time in Iceland, and I'd thought about it long and hard. No matter how good our plans are, though, there's so much that's just out of our control, and often our plans end up needing to be changed. In Iceland, we could have accidentally slept in and then we'd have missed our timings and we'd have had to change things. Or the weather might have changed, meaning that we had to leave something to the next day, or just like we actually did experience, the rental car could get a flat tire, which means we have to find somewhere and take time to get a new tire. Things often won't go quite as we'd hoped or planned. And in our passage for today, Jesus had a plan. So let's see what it was. Our reading is from Luke chapter 22, and we're going to read verses 7 to 16. The day of unleavened bread came. This was the day the Passover lambs had to be sacrificed. Jesus said to Peter and John, "Go and prepare the Passover meal for us to eat." They asked, "Where do you want us to prepare it?" Jesus said to them, "Listen, after you go into the city, you will see a man carrying a jar of water. Follow him into the house that he enters. Tell the person who owns that house, the teacher asks that you please show us the room where he and his followers may eat the Passover meal. Then he will show you a large room upstairs. This room is ready for you. Prepare the Passover meal there." So Peter and John left. Everything happened just as Jesus had said. So they prepared the Passover meal. When the time came, Jesus and the apostles were sitting at the table. He said to them, "I want it very much to eat this Passover meal with you before I die. I will never eat another Passover meal until it is given its true meaning in the kingdom of God." In our passage, we see that Jesus had a plan to eat the Passover meal with his disciples. We're going to find out a little bit more about the Passover next week. But it was basically a celebration of when God saved his people from death back in the book of Exodus in the Old Testament. Did you notice something amazing as I read that passage though? Jesus had a plan, and it all happened just as he said it would. Jesus knew every detail of how Peter and John would find a room for the Last Supper, because he knew every detail of what was about to happen. As they sit down to eat, Jesus then says these words: "I want it very much to eat this Passover meal with you before I die." As Jesus sat down with his disciples to enjoy this meal, he knows that he is soon going to die. But here's the incredible thing. That was all part of Jesus' plan as well. Jesus was doing something really important. It was all part of God's big plan. And unlike the plans that we have, nothing would be able to stop or change what Jesus had planned to do. Jesus was in control.